The Bears would walk away with the win in this one. It snaps a 25-game losing streak when trailing by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter. The Bears have been a lot of fun. I believe they've won 5 of their last 6 over the last couple of weeks or so. They get back on track after the weird game that was last week. Pete, how are we feeling about the Bears and what Caleb Williams has been able to do in this second year, specifically what you saw out of them today?
Well, it's slowed down for him. He's still a little frenetic at times. And look, he could turn a play where you get in the pocket and you're supposed to go 1, 2, 3 and get the ball out. And you go, oh, wait, he didn't throw it to 3 or he didn't get to 3. But there he goes out the back door and he spins around and runs for 40 yards. I mean, that's what he is. And that's what he's going to be for a while until it does slow down even more for him. But I think all his fast-paced, frenetic style has kind of just slowed a tad. And that's a good thing. He's getting better. And I give Ben Johnson a lot of credit for that. Defensively, they worry me a little bit. There's some flaws there. But give Ben Johnson credit. This team's right smack dab in the middle of the playoff race, and not a lot of people thought that would be the case.
Talk to me about the division race as well, because we won't see the Packers play until tomorrow. But who would have thought it would be the Packers and the Bears, Jason, kind of jawing up there at the top. The Vikings are in there, too, although they didn't play very well today.
Yeah, and I think the Bears are a really dangerous team. I mean, I said this earlier about Ben Johnson and the effect that I thought he would bring to Chicago. I think you look at what Ben did in Detroit this year 1, and Jared did not look very good at all, but the year 2, they took quite the jump. And I think when you look at what's happening right now with the Chicago Bears and that offense and Caleb Williams and the growth is really that when you take a Jared Goff and you take a Caleb Williams, one of them has more margin of error. Caleb gives you that margin of error. He has more traits that erase mistakes that Jared Goff just doesn't have. In terms of being able to extend the play, in terms of being able to use legs, in terms of being able to make what maybe one quarterback would have a negative play and turn it into a positive, Caleb has that. And even today, there were some drops that happened on offensively where Caleb threw some balls where I was like, oh, wow. There are steps being taken forward. Like you said, he's not playing as speedy. He's playing more in the system. There's a dig route that he hit to Rome Odunze in the third quarter today where it was just the last part of the progression. And the offensive line's playing better so he can stay there in that pocket. So I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him. I'm loving the way he's handling the pre-snap stuff. Because when you talk about Ben Johnson's offense, that's probably the most complicated part. You go into that huddle with a lot. You're going to have 2 or 3 plays sometimes going to that huddle. Quarterback has to handle a lot of movement, a lot of motions. He's handling all that stuff really, really well.
And when you, in totality, to encompass all of this, what you said, what Pete said, it's just about buy-in. These players have bought into Ben Johnson's system. Yep. I mean, Caleb Williams, he's obviously a byproduct of that, but DeAndre Swift is playing better. Rome Odunze is finally getting his touches, getting his catches, getting in the end zone. So when you look at this, I mean, even defensively, they're starting to come along. They're starting to play better, led by Tremaine Edmonds. Like, they're starting to figure it out, and it's because they've bought into what Ben Johnson has said, and his method is tried and true. We saw what he did in Detroit. We saw what he was able to do with a less mobile quarterback, less explosive playmaker, and just that buy-in piece is so important. Like, you talked about Mike McDaniels earlier and, like, winning over a locker room. Yep. Ben Johnson has won this locker room over. Yep. They're following him, and they're getting better each and every week.
It certainly feels that way, and he's been so creative as well with the play calling. It really feels like Caleb is comfortable. Pete, I'll give you last word here real quick on the other side with Jackson Dart specifically. We've had the conversation where he just plays a little too reckless. He's putting his body on the line, and today we saw him leave in the third quarter with a concussion. It's not the first time this year that Jackson's been in that situation where an injury has sort of impacted his ability to play. Where's your concern level with Jackson and the Giants?
Yeah, it's going to slow down for him, too. His is 1-2 and get out. I mean, that's where he is right now. But ironically, the injury really didn't happen when he was running. It happened inside the pocket. He got blasted inside the pocket. So, look, there was growth there today. I think if you're a Giants, I've said this earlier in the year, if you're a Giants fan, you're going to lose these games sometimes. But you're winning because you have him. And I think you see progress with him. He's getting better and better. And I think there should be optimism because of that.
He just got to keep himself on the damn field.
Yeah, but that was in the pocket, though.
Well, yes, but.
But you're right. He's reckless.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's reckless.
Yeah. I think reckless is a good word. He's also just very daring. Like, it's very rare you see a rookie quarterback come in and he's really, really willing to push the field vertically and aggressively at that level that he does. That's just rare. He's not scared at all. Now, there's going to be mistakes that come out of that, but it's also a good sign. I think that's why the new energy in this offense feels so good because they have that in a young guy like this. So
yeah, he brings that edge. It's sad. We talked about Cam Scatterbo a few weeks ago. Let's talk about the Lions and the Commanders. This really one wasn't much to take in today. It was a beat down from the Lions standpoint. Something that we talked about, though, Jason, the play calling. Dan Campbell took over some offensive play calling today. You noticed it as well when we were prepping in. What did you make of the Lions today, and specifically that change with Dan Campbell on the headset?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when I've been watching this offense over the last few weeks is there hasn't been as much rhythm as flow as we're normally used to seeing in this Detroit Lions offense. And I think today there's just a lot more rhythm. There's more routine. Things were built off each other. I think one thing that Ben did so well when he was in Detroit is he built pictures throughout the game, and he showed certain stuff in the beginning of the game. He made everything look the same. You see them doing it still in Chicago. And I thought Detroit just got back to that. I thought the play action was married really well with the run game. The run was also going very well. Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean, they had about 212 yards, I think, today, offensively rushing. They've averaged 125 on the year. So when you have the run game going the way that they did, the pass protection looked better today. I know they're still figuring some stuff out. Coyote's working in there. Graham's working that center. Tate Rutledge and Panay still getting that chemistry together. So there's things going on from that standpoint, but they're growing. They got back on track today, and it was a revenge game at the end of the day.
I'm glad you mentioned the running game and Jahmyr Gibbs, because I would like to ask a question. Jahmyr Gibbs, RB2 in the NFL right now, behind Jonathan Taylor?
I think he's in the conversation.
You say in the conversation? I say absolutely.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs is lightning in a bottle. He's like Lamar Jackson at running back. This dude is sensational. Let me ask you something, Pete Prisco. You know who has the record, the franchise record for the Detroit Lions for the most games with, I think it's over 100 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. Do you know who it is?
Is it Jahmyr Gibbs?
It ain't Barry Sanders. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the second best running back in the National Football League. And what he does for this team, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, when you've got a field full of playmakers, you've got a quarterback who's experienced and done a lot of things well, when you have a spark like Jahmyr Gibbs, like we talked about it, the way he accelerates from 0 to 100 like that, and a team full of superstars, he's the one consistent. Every time he touches the ball, everybody in the stadium, home team, away team, it don't matter. Jahmyr Gibbs is that dude. Let's give him his flowers that he deserves.
Where did Jahmyr Gibbs go to school?
He went to Alabama.
And guess what? They turn him out. Them Bama running backs.
Yeah, some of them are actually pretty good. I'm kidding. By the way, can we never, ever, ever mention him in the same sentence with Barry Sanders, please? Come on. Let's not do that.
Well, the numbers did.
I don't care what the numbers are. Javid Best was in that group, too. He's not the same. He's a great back. Barry Sanders might be the best runner who ever played the game, ever.
They're different backs, though, too.
They are different.
Yeah,
but you know what he is? He's the prototypical airback for the modern game. That's who he is. I call him the airback. You get him out in space, you can run. He's a better runner between the tackles than people gave him credit for coming out of Alabama.
Absolutely.
I love what they did. Having said all that, they played a 7-on-7 against air today. That's what they played. That defense is putrid. It's putrid. It's one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. They could talk about Jaden Daniels not being there. It doesn't matter. As long as if he can't play corner, that defense is awful. They're terrible on defense. They've gotten old. They have nobody who can rush the passer, and they have Toast Lattimore on the back end. They are bad back there.
Toast, man. They are toast. Okay, let's.
Yeah, he's out, but I'm saying all year.
I was going to say, I don't think he's playing.
He wasn't there today, but I'm saying all year he's been the toast of that defense all year.
Oh, I got to get my napkins out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They can't rush the passer, and he all year long he was the toast of the town. That guy. And
Toast Lattimore.
remember they traded to go get him. They have problems. They have big problems.
Jack is also saying that Tutu Atwell is on IR.
Yeah, but they have big problems. They have big problems on the defensive side of the ball.
They do.
We're going to try to get back on track.
They do. I mean, and you want to talk about having problems on defense. We saw a lack of discipline from a lot of these guys on this Washington defense. I mean, we saw a guy get ejected. We saw another guy potentially could have gotten ejected. He had a little bit of a confrontation with the refs. So outside of just calling people toast and talking about how they get burnt, there is a lack of discipline on top of the fact that they just don't play fundamentally sound defense as well.
I was not prepared for toast. I'm sorry.
Every week we've called him that.
Not on this program.
Yeah, we have. Rand always looks at me and gives me that look.
Maybe that's why I missed it. All right, real quick. Let's talk about a team who we thought was toast, but all of a sudden they've turned it up. The Ravens have now won 3 straight, having started 1-5. And this is kind of the conversation with this team. When Lamar Jackson is healthy, when the defense is healthy, this is a team that you can't count out. Damien, when you look at what the Ravens are doing, and their upcoming schedule is pretty favorable as well, too. Is this Ravens team a playoff team?
Yes,
That's what
they
I
are.
wanna know.
They are. When you have Lamar Jackson, when you have that defense playing the way that it is, led by Roquan Smith, the secondary is playing better. This is absolutely a playoff team. Now, they dug themselves a hole early in the season. Lamar missed some time, which obviously didn't help. But having him back and having the defense clicking on all cylinders and still getting better, that automatically increases your chances. And let's be honest, a healthy Ravens team, nobody wants to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, as long as you got Ocho on your team, you got a chance. He's that level of talent. He's that level of good. He's their leader. You have Derrick Henry back there, King Henry. He's still doing his thing. Although he's been in the league some time, he's still doing his thing. Yeah, we can agree with that, right? Yeah, Derrick Henry's still like that. He's still that guy.
Up until this year, anyways.
And the identity of that offense is running the football. That's what they do. That's who the Ravens are. They are physical. They're getting back to their brand of football. Defensively, they've had some issues. I don't know what happened with the Jahmyr Alexander, trade, why that didn't really work out, things of that nature. But they're coming back. Marlon Humphrey's maybe a little bit less on the media and saying a little less on the podcast.
Put them glizzies down.
Lamar's taking the pool table and the ping pong table out the locker room. You know what time it is when that kind of stuff happens. So I think they're getting back on track, getting back to who they need to be.
And the schedule's favorable.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
Is.
I mean, you look.
Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals again.
Yeah, they have a real chance to make the real push here. By the way, Derrick Henry had 75 yards on 20 carries today, so under 4 yards a carry. So that's not exactly lighting things up at the running back position. But I'm with you. As long as Lamar Jackson's healthy on that field, they should be the team to beat in that division. It's just they dug such a deep hole. It's going to be hard to come out from underneath it. One misstep and they're going to have a problem.
It feels like the conversation that we had basically post-trade deadline last year with the Bengals and Joe Burrow, where it was like we knew that Joe Burrow is special and that this team could make a push, but they couldn't because they dug themselves a little too deep. Really quick on the other side of this one, when it comes to the Vikings, I know J.J. McCarthy is still coming along.
You talking about 9?
9.
9.
Yeah, the quarterback 9.
Yeah.
Why did you?
That's his nickname, 9. That's his alter ego. You haven't seen it?
I thought I said something wrong.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Mid-time joke.
9. Okay, I'll refer to him as 9 now. Oh, you scared me, David.
No, sorry.
Nonetheless, when you look at 9, the quarterback, it hasn't necessarily been fireworks. We have seen moments where he's done some pretty cool things. He got the game ball a few weeks back. But something that we talked about earlier is this Vikings quarterback room a year ago. When J.J. McCarthy was out, they had Daniel Jones and they also had Sam Darnold in that quarterback room. Jason, I guess looking ahead here, you can't really predict what kind of season J.J. McCarthy was going to have this year. Do you think at any moment this coaching staff, this team, when you look at how Sam Darnold is playing, when you look at how Daniel Jones is playing, do you think at any moment there's some regrets that they moved on from either of those guys?
No, I don't think there's regret. Now, I mean, when you looked at this offseason and the whole circus around the quarterback position, nobody was getting signed. Like, it was very clear they were going chips all in on J.J. McCarthy. Like, that was very clear. So I wanted to see what that looked like. And, when I look at J.J. McCarthy, when I see the swagger, the moxie he plays with, when I saw him in that final drive against the Lions to put the dagger in him on a 3rd down, and he ends up throwing the big box fade. Are you kidding me? On a back shoulder throw? A rookie? He's basically a rookie to me. I look at it and know he's second year, but this is really his rookie year. Yep. He was hurt last year, things of that nature. When I see those type of throws and him having that kind of confidence to do that in Ford Field, that's when I'm like, all right, let's see how this plays out. I feel good about it.
Yeah, and on top of that, Kevin O'Connell has proved he's a quarterback whisperer. Yep. I mean, you've got a young guy, the guy that you wanted. You went out and spent some heavy draft capital on him. Let your coach, who's Kevin O'Connell, let him mold this young project that is J.J. McCarthy. And if you just give it time, listen, Rome was not built in one day. They're going to figure it out.
You think they regret not having Sam Darnold?
I just wonder if you look and you see what he has been able to do with the Seahawks team. It's like he hasn't missed a beat. And I get it. To your point, they went all in on J.J. McCarthy. They traded up for him. They knew that he was going to be the quarterback. But I just wonder, we talked about Sam Darnold as an MVP not 20 minutes ago. What
who else they had on that team, too? Daniel Jones was on that team,
That's what I said. So are there, in your opinion, do you think there's a little regret there?
Yeah, well, they tried to keep Daniel Jones, and he had made a decision he wanted to go somewhere. He saw the handwriting on the wall that they probably wanted to start J.J. McCarthy. He wanted to go somewhere where he could compete. Yeah. And he saw Anthony Richardson. He goes, I'm going to go compete. And I'm going to win that job. And so, I mean, can you blame the guy? Can you blame him? I mean, he made the right decision. So I understand. Look, you can't fault him for that. But as far as Sam Darnold, I mean, I probably would have looked at that after what happened last year. You know what happened, though? At the end of last year, Sam Darnold had 2 bad games.
Yeah,
he did. And it probably put it in the back of their minds, maybe we can get better than this. And the reality is they're not close to being better. One thing J.J. McCarthy has to do is settle his feet down. He throws so many passes where he's jumping or leaping or whatever. I don't even know what it is. I haven't seen quarterback played like that since last Thursday, Bo Nix. But, I mean, the bottom line is these young quarterbacks all have to set their feet to throw, and they don't.
Good thing we don't have to talk about Bo Nix today. That game was atrocious. J.J. McCarthy, by the way, his first game with over 200 passing yards today in his career. And to your point, Jason, he's only played in 4 career games from start to finish. So
yeah, but you remember the
there.
opener, though? He let him back, and everybody's, oh, he's great, he's great. Just him, who needs him? And the reality is the NFL, as you guys know, slaps you right smack in the face.
Humbles you.
I was just getting ready to say it humbles you. Well, we're keeping our eye on 9. Now that I know that's his nickname, I'm not in trouble. We're going to keep pushing there. Let's hit a break here on Game Day Recap. Still plenty to talk about as we push ahead. Are the Jets streaking or what? Don't call it a comeback. They've now made it 2 in a row thanks to special teams and some really bad Browns play. We're breaking it down next on Game Day Recap.